Hi there guys, welcome back to the channel. Now as you can tell from the title, today's Palace Daily is about our final pre-season friendly before the new Premier League season starts. And it was against Hertha Berlin at home. It was technically our first home game of the new season, and we lost 4-0. Good thing about it, I wasn't there. I was a bit gutted actually beforehand, but I was away with the family, and beforehand, I would have liked to have gone, but it's a pre-season friendly. At the end of the day, I'm not too worried about going or not going. But to see the updates coming through and to just keep seeing the score going up and up after what seemed like a fairly good start to the game, hit the woodwork with Scott Dan. It looked like we had a disallowed goal. I'm sure whoever was at the game, please comment below. I'd love to hear some more in-depth thoughts. I've gone down the Twitter timeline, things like that, to hear people's opinions on the game and how bad it actually was. And it doesn't sound very good. It sounded a lot like it was very, very similar to last season. It didn't look like we were playing in any different format. It looked very void of ideas going forward without Wilf. And it looked very, very worrying by the sounds of people on Twitter. Then again, obviously social media is a place for people to rant and rave and all that sort of stuff, so you can't take it for face value on Twitter and things like that. So obviously comment below your thoughts in the comments down below if you were at the game. I'd love to know. Me personally, about the thing I'm worried about is this is the last pre-season friendly before the season starts. This is the point where you have the starting 11 sorted, and you should now just be up to fitness and just clicking and trying to work on little tactics here and there, maybe trying out different formation, something like a plan B, things like that. It should be small things you're working on now. For us, I feel like we're not ready. We're not ready for the start of the season, and the reason that really frustrates me is that that's been our problem for a number of seasons now. The last few seasons, definitely, we have started slowly. By starting slowly, it means by come November, December, we're in a relegation battle, or 1 or 2 points above the bottom three. And it's really then after Christmas, we see the trend where January, February, March, we then start to go on good runs, pick up points, finish comfortably at the end of the season, and then obviously repeat then the season after. That's the way it's been the last few seasons. And it feels like we're going into a new season with that being the likely outcome again. Just frustrating. On one side, it worries me that the starting 11 that we play today, I think, is going to be very, very close, if not player for player, the starting 11 that will play against Everton on Saturday next week in the Premier League, opening day of the season. That worries me, that our starting 11, that could be the starting 11, how weak it looks on paper. Max Meyer playing out wide in a 4-4-2. Obviously, they could switch with Ayew and Ayew going out wide and Meyer coming in as like a number 10, so it's more of a 4-4-1-1 sort of formation. I think that would work better than a 4-4-2, but with the players that are on the pitch. But that worries me going into a game against Everton when you look at the signings they've made. And again, this goes back, it goes back to the point on the signings, and I wasn't overly concerned, wasn't as concerned about the lack of signings as some people have been, and I think it's fair for some people to be as concerned as they are. I'm starting to get more. I'm more concerned now, and it goes back to being unprepared. I think that it was clear at the end of last season the problems with that we needed to fix in the team, the weak points. We knew Batshuayi would be going back to Chelsea at the end of the season, and that we would need to look for a striker option. It looks like we're going to give Benteke another chance. Obviously, it's up to the club to make that final decision. Is it because of the money he's on? Is it because they can't afford to sell him for the value they want to sell him for, and they're forced to stick with him? Or do they genuinely think that he can be the answer up front and we should give him another go? I don't know, but it looks like we're going down that route. Hopefully we do bring in a new striker before the season ends, otherwise that will really bother me. We knew even back in January, February, that there was a lot of interest around Wan-Bissaka. We knew he was smashing it, and we knew it'd be hard to keep him in the summer window. I personally thought he would be the one player out of him and Zaha that goes, or the more likely player to go. Ends up, we knew United were interested in him towards the end of the season. End up buying him. I still think it's a good transfer price to sell him for. I know that some people now in hindsight, when you look at the Maguire deal that's about to happen and you look at how well he started for United and United fans saying how much of a steal it was, I cannot, again, I understand why people feel that we should have pushed for more, but for me personally, I think it's still 50 mil. I can't complain at selling in for 50 mil. I don't want to be too greedy. At the end of the day, it's a good transfer price to get him for. If anything, I'm a bit disappointed we didn't put a sell-on clause for him. But apart from that, I'm not too unhappy with that. But my point basically is that we knew that there were key areas we had to fix at the start of the window, and that was even before the Wan-Bissaka deal went through. We knew we needed a new striker. We knew we needed probably another centre-back as some depth, because we started the Bournemouth game, at the end of the last game of the season, the Bournemouth game, we started with no centre-backs fit, and we knew that Tompkins and Saka would be out for a long time, and it looks like they're both going to miss the start of the season. Saka, touch and go. Wilf and Chiarte, obviously, with AFCON, they got to the latter stages. Wilf may be back in time for Sheffield United. I'm not sure about that, but I think he's definitely going to miss the Everton game because he hasn't had a pre-season really. Chiarte definitely hasn't, so I think Chiarte will miss the first few weeks of the season for sure. And these are things that I expected the club to prepared for, to just... we all knew this was going to be the case. We all knew coming towards the end of last season where we had to strengthen in the team. And it bothers me that it's taken now, we've got 5 days left of the transfer window to get those positions sorted. I would have loved to have just seen, even if it was just bids that were getting rejected, I would have loved to have seen us in the first week of the window going for players and putting money on the table, because then it would at least show the fans that we got a plan, we've got players, we've got targets. By doing nothing, and they may well have a plan in place, they're not idiots, as much as we like to criticise, or some of the fans like to criticise the board and Doug Friedman and Parish. They're not idiots. They know the problems. They will have targets. They have targets that they will look to go for. But being so inactive in the window and waiting so late, yet again, it's another window where we're going to be very busy in deadline day, I feel. And as exciting as that can be, new signings coming in on deadline day, again, it'll be signings that haven't adapted to the team. It'll take a while for them to gel with the new teammates, maybe coming from another league into England. It happened with Max Meyer last season. He said it took him a very long time to adapt to the Premier League, and that's why we didn't see the best out of him for large portions of last season. For me, it's just poor from the board that, again, we've waited this long and they haven't shown the fans that they do have a plan in place just by putting bids out there and confirming links with certain players, something like that. And that's frustrating me. Again, the result itself isn't so much the issue. As disappointing as it is still isn't our first 11. But the problem that I have is that it's our last pre-season friendly, and it shows how unprepared we are for the start of the season, despite knowing in certain scenarios like AFCON, like Wan-Bissaka, like Batshuayi going back to Chelsea. These are all things we knew were going to happen and knew could be possibilities, especially with AFCON, certain players coming back late into pre-season. These are all things we knew. And so to be so late in sorting that out concerns me, it bothers me. On the upside, it does look like Camarasa will go through, and that is a fantastic deal by the sounds of things, because it looks like he'll be signing on a season on loan initially for about €1 million or something like that, and then with the obligation to buy at the end of that for a cheaper fee as well. If that is the case, that's a fantastic bit of business, and we should give the board credit for that, because it doesn't take much out of the transfer budget, hardly anything out of the transfer budget, to have him for a season, and then we can get him a lot cheaper probably at the end of the season if he's had a good loan and we want him permanently. So if that does go through, and hopefully it's just fine, small details now, we can get that over the line over the weekend, and then work on the striker and right back options that we definitely need, and a backup winger. Hopefully, I think we need at least 3 more signings on top of the Camarasa deal before deadline day shuts. But anyway, guys, I wanted to wrap it up there. Basically, just wanted to get my whole thoughts out on the pre-season and just in general my thoughts. It's not so much the Hertha Berlin game, although I am disappointed, of course, that it doesn't, we couldn't finish pre-season on a high and bring momentum into the season. We're going into it looking quite glum and not very, not looking forward to the season, and we don't want any fans feeling that way at all. I want to be happy and excited, and I am happy and I am excited about the new season, but I'm very, very, obviously you're questioning how we're going to do, and I feel like we're going to do exactly what we did last season and start very slow, very poorly, and take a while to get the gears going, which is a shame. Obviously, I hope the club proves me wrong and we sign some players that hit the ground running and it all goes to plan. But at the moment, it's worrying. It's worrying that how unprepared we look. It may not be the case behind the scenes, but on the pitch, It's not good. And Roy's expressed that numerous times. But anyway, guys, comment your thoughts down below. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got my points. Probably didn't enjoy it as much as you want because it's about Palace defeat, of course. But as I said, I will be going on holiday tomorrow. I'll be away for about a week, out in Turkey actually. But we'll be doing obviously a preview to the game towards the end of the week, and some Premier League stuff. I'll be trying to do some videos out there if I can, when I'm free for you guys as well. But if you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, hit that subscribe button for sure, share the video out as well. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Deadline day up next, and that'll be the most important thing. Can we get some signings over the line? Because we have to, in my opinion. Thank you for watching, guys. See you guys later.